Summit. My name is Ron Aaron. I have the pleasure of working with the WellMed Charitable Foundation and folks at WellMed Medical Management. I know some of you in the room, and I look forward to getting a chance to get to know others who are here, and we really, really appreciate you being here. This conference has grown leaps and bounds. We're expecting anywhere from 250 to 260 folks here today. If you were here last year, you may not remember the room was much smaller. We had the dividers up, didn't have a need for all this space, and now we've extended for most of the room, which is pretty cool, and it indicates that we're resonating with folks here. Hope you've had a chance to slip into the kitchen to grab some coffee and a little bit of breakfast. We also have free flu shots available. If you haven't, who's not had a flu shot yet? Okay, we'll send your names to Homeland Security. And you can get a free flu shot today. Such a deal. And you don't even have to be 60 or 65. So head in there and get your flu shot. The needles aren't as sharp because it's a free shot, but you don't have to worry about that. These are the needles that they plunge into your skin, but it shouldn't bother you if you don't have any concern about that. And I'm looking around the room to see how many of you may have need as we age. Occasionally we need to find the bathroom more often. In the hallway, go through the door behind you, turn right, you'll see bathrooms off to the left. And you also will find a sign that will lead you to the nonprofit area where a number of tables are set up with nonprofit organizations that will provide you with all kinds of information that will be of use to you, I hope. Those of you who are here for CEUs, you have registered when you came in the hallway. If you didn't, you need to do that. If you came at the last minute and have not registered to get CEU credit, you can still do that. I spoke to the young woman at the desk, and you can still do that, so head on out there if you need to register to get CEUs. Within 2 weeks following this summit, a CEU certificate will be emailed to you, so that will be taken care of automatically. If you need a certificate of attendance, just follow the same instructions, and that is go talk to the folks at the CEU desk, and that will get you underway. Any other questions? Any old business? Well, we can plunge right ahead and introduce a young woman who is a co-sponsor for today's event. Rose Ryan is director of the Alamo Area Agencies on Aging, the AAA ACOG. Is a co-host, as I indicated. She is a graduate of Thomas Jefferson High School. How many of you are Jeff graduates? There must be some here. All right, here for the Mustangs. She's a swimmer, loves the ocean, lived for some time in Long Beach, California, was not a Navy SEAL. She's a surfer, still surfs down at Port Aransas and elsewhere. Graduate of the University of Houston, where she earned a BS, she thought that was appropriate, a BS in Business Administration. And she is leaving tomorrow morning on a trip of a lifetime. Her bucket list checked off. Where do you think she's going? Anybody want to guess? Let me hear it. Shout it out. Where's she going tomorrow? Hawaii. No, but close. Where else?
Alaska.
Belize. No. How about New Zealand? Ooh, that's cool. She shouldn't worry about sheep flu that is spreading across the island. I think she'll be fine. She'll get a shot, right. That flu shot will protect you. Before she went to ACOG 3.5 years ago, Rose Ryan was with the city of San Antonio doing a number of different things. And please, round of applause and welcome Rose Ryan.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate that introduction. He is so much fun getting us going and supercharged this morning. I just want to welcome everyone here and let you know that it's ACOG's pleasure and honor to be here today to help host this event along with our great partner, WellMed and the WellMed Foundation, that does so much for our community, and others that are going to be here today to provide valuable information to you and just get you equipped to do the caregiving job that we all face one day. As you know, November is the National Caregiver Month, so it's very fitting that this Enlightened Caregiver Summit will be held now. This is also, in case you don't know, which I doubt, but I'm going to remind everybody, this is a celebratory year for the Older Americans Act, celebrating 50 years, yes, 50 years of funding for services to older Americans, including our vital caregiver funding that allow us to provide the great caregiver programs that we have. In fact, I'm going to do a shameless plug right now. If you want to know some of our caregiver programs, please see our caregiver program table. Laura Ledesma will help you with all the information that ACOG has to offer. So please visit with her on your way out. Caregiving affects all family members. I know I'm a caregiver myself for my father who served in the military. He's 84 years old, and all of us will reach that point sometime in a lifetime. Caregiving affects all family members, not just the caregiver. That's why this summit is so important, because today you will be equipped with tools and resources to navigate your way through caregiving to benefit your entire family and your friends and associates. It's a fact that 90% of older Americans want to age in place in their home. I know I do. And caregiving allows them to do that with dignity and grace. Caregiving also provides a continuum of care. Think about it, 24/7, a continuum of care, unlike no other, because it connects the dots with the array of doctors and specialists providing client care for your loved ones. And that's really important, because if nobody has that overarching view of the client, your loved one, then it's very difficult to get the complete care that they may need. So please take advantage of the wealth of resources that are here today for you. I want you to learn a lot, network, and most of all, have fun. Thank you so much.
And bon voyage, had a wonderful trip to New Zealand. That's cool. Many of you here, I'm sure, know Carol Zernial. She is a rock star in the field of aging. Carol has a master's degree in social gerontology from Trinity University, has been involved in the field of aging. She doesn't even look this old, for over 20 years. She's chairman of the board of directors for the National Council on the Aging. Her background includes work for the 1995 White House Conference on Aging and the American Association of Homes and Services, chair of the National Institute of Community-Based Long-Term Care, and a board member of the National Association of AAA's Area Agencies on Aging. She now serves as Vice President for Charitable Relations and is the Executive Director for the WellMed Charitable Foundation. Carol Zernial received the 2008 Outstanding Professional in Aging Award in Texas for her contributions in the field of aging, and I have the privilege of co-hosting a weekly radio show with Carol, one-hour show on caregiving that airs on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, Sunday afternoons at 6 p.m., available by podcast, and all of our shows available. Thank you, Oscar. Where's Oscar? Wave your hand. Oscar, our ACE intern, made arrangements, and all of the Caregiver SOS on-air shows are now available on iTunes at no cost. So a chance for you to pick up on an incredible resource for you on caregiving and more. So please welcome Carol Zernial.
It's a big podium, so I'm going to kind of stand over here. I have the pleasure of thanking everyone who put the summit together. So as you go through the day and you pass these people, you can say thank you for their hard work. So I'd like to thank the planning committee, and if you're in the room, if you would stand up or wave. So Joy McQueen and Gloria Miranda, Minerva Villarreal, Eva Trevino, Dan Calderon, Oscar Gonzalez, all from WellMed, Joe Zapata and Mark Johnson from the University of Texas Health Science Center, Diane Tehran, Laura Ledesma from ACOG, and Sue Ellen Lewis and Debbie Villa also with WellMed. So thank you, Planning Committee, for everything that you did to get us ready for this. I want to add my thanks and jealousy to Rose Ryan, who's off to New Zealand. Thank you, Rose, for partnering with us this year. You didn't tell me you were going. And to the University of Texas Health Science Center and Brian Cordes at Sage Care Management for their assistance in getting the continuing education units that all of you are signing up for. I want to draw your attention to the program and all of our sponsors in the program. Thank them for their assistance, the for-profit and the nonprofit. This summit would not be possible without the support of all of our sponsors. Our major sponsors this year include Cardis San Antonio, In-Home Senior Care, and Legacy at Forest Ridge and WellMed Medical Management. So thanks to our sponsors. But the real reason we're here today is to talk about caregiving. There are many people in the room that are going to remember Homer Lear, our friend and advocate from the Texas Silver-Haired Legislature. One meeting at the state level, we were doing a survey of people at a conference, and he stood up and he said in his biggest voice, he said, "We are caregivers. We are caregivers." And this was a man who had walked the halls of the legislature at the state level and the national level. He advocated for air conditioning in senior housing here in the hot South Texas sun. He had advocated for stiffer penalties for crimes against the elderly. But it was this thought, we are caregivers, that I could hear in his voice, that this was something that was special to him, that this came from his absolute core. And he was caring for his wife at the time. And he was advocating for more training for healthcare professionals and social service workers to recognize the role of caregivers across all services, across the spectrum. And he was advocating for caregivers to self-identify. That's the hardest thing that any of us do every day, is to recognize that not only are we the wife and the daughter and the husband and the son, but we are also the caregiver. Juan mentioned the radio show that we do, and the refrain that we hear over and over again is, "Don't do what I do, don't go it alone." So many of us think that we have to go it alone, and that's just not true. So caregiving can test who we are, it can change who we are, but we're not going to let it define who we are, because throughout our caregiving journey, we want all of us, the whole person, to stay intact. And so caregiving is going to be a piece of us, but we want you all to have wonderful lives, a wonderful caregiving journey, and hang on exactly to who you are. So we have gathered a group of wonderful speakers who are going to talk to you about different aspects of caregiving and information. So I hope you do enjoy the day. I hope you take home some gems as well as a flu shot. And welcome to the 2015 Caregiver Summit.